Hey guys, Bettina here. So I wanted to talk to you today about feeling stressed and overwhelmed in motherhood. And I wanted to give you three little tips that you can use right now to start feeling a little bit less stressed, a little bit less overwhelmed, and starting to feel more on top of your day. So I remember a time when I just felt like it was all too much, like the pressure, the stress, too many things to do. I was exhausted. And even when I got up in the morning, my list of things to do was so overwhelming that it really affected how I felt. So if that's you and you're feeling really stressed and overwhelmed with everything at the minute, these three tips are for you. So it might be that you're in the early stages of motherhood and maybe you've got a brand new baby. You feel stressed and overwhelmed because your baby won't sleep, you haven't showered, the house is a mess, and your whole life has turned upside down, and you're feeling a little bit like, oh, I don't know how I fit into all this anymore, and you're probably not getting anything done in the day, because that's what happens when you have a new baby. So if that's you, these three tips will help you. It will also help you if you're maybe a little bit later in your motherhood journey. Maybe you've got a couple of kids, maybe juggling some part-time work or other commitments, and your list is just getting longer and longer and longer. And maybe you've gotten to that point where you're feeling a bit run down in your week and it's all too much. So it will help you as well. It will also help you if you're juggling full-time work or a business, or maybe you're even working from home around kids. I don't think there's anything more stressful. Trust me, I know. If that's you as well, these three tips can help you too. So let's jump straight into them. Make sure you listen to the end. You want these three tips to get started feeling less overwhelmed and stressed today. So number one, I want you to mind dump. Get it all out of your head, get it out of your body and dump it down on paper. So from the smallest thing that you can think of that is stressing you out right now, and it might be something as small and annoying as you forgot to buy this one little ingredient for the dinner that you're making tonight. It might be something as small as that, to the largest thing like a big work project that you're working on that hasn't been going well, or maybe something that you're just feeling a bit anxious about. So small to little, it doesn't matter. Sometimes the things that overwhelm us and that tip us over that point are really the smallest little things. But it's sort of when they add and pile up that we're getting stressed over. So things like maybe you're trying to toilet train and it's not going so well. Maybe the budget is being blown out each fortnight for your groceries, and that's stressing you out. So the money's disappearing and you're not really sure where it's coming from. Maybe you're going back to work soon and you're not sure how you're going to balance childcare and work. So whatever it is, list it down. All right, step number two, I want you to go through that list and I want you to cross out anything that you can't control. So if you can't actively do something to make progress or feel better about that thing that's on your list, I want you to cross it out. And I want you to see you're crossing it out as starting to let it go. So a lot of our stress and overwhelm is really worry about things that we can't even do anything about. So maybe a conversation with a friend where things got a little bit tense, and if you honestly can't do anything about that, so perhaps you've had a follow-up conversation and you've asked them, are they okay? Did I do anything to offend you? You've sort of gone down that awkward conversation route that sometimes comes up when you have conflict, and nothing can be done, and you have honestly done all that you can. You need to stop running that conversation over and over in your head. If you've offended someone, it's usually because of their stuff that they've got coming up that you triggered. And as much as we can feel bad about it, it's not actually going to help them. So you need to let that go. If you can't do anything, and sometimes you can reach out, sometimes you can have another conversation. There are sometimes things you can do, but often we have these awkward conversations or we have uncomfortable encounters and we just keep playing them over and over in our minds. The other type of overwhelm and stress usually comes from worrying about things that are going to happen or potentially could happen. Sometimes they're not even on the agenda. It's just like worrying what happens if this comes up. If that's on your list, cross it out. You don't need it on there, and it's only going to make you not enjoy what's going on right now. And if you have years of that, years of worrying about things that are going to happen that never actually happen, you're kind of getting into this place where life is not very enjoyable and life is always stressful. I'm sure you've met those people who are caught up in stories. So they're always, every time you ring them, something bad is happening. And often the something bad that's happening is actually not happening yet because they're just worrying about it, or what if this happens, or it's already happened. So they're telling you about something that went on last week, and you may have heard the story 4 or 5 times before they can process it. So let's try and cross those off our list and stop worrying about things that are really out of our control. Then I want you to grab a second colored pen, and I want you to go through and circle anything that can be done by someone else. So what can you ask your partner to do? Ask a friend to do. Maybe swap some jobs. So some things that she hates doing, some things you hate doing, can you swap them? Can you get in someone a couple of hours? Maybe a young girl that wants a part-time job. Can you get her to help out with the kids for a couple of hours? Something that someone else can step in and take that load off your shoulders. It might be a cleaner if that's in your budget. It might be that meal planning and grocery shopping stresses you out. Can you get an ordered in service? Can you keep repeating the same order on Coles online? I might do that because it stresses me out. It doesn't matter what it is, but think about how you can make your life a lot more simple by getting these things off your list. Right, so I'm hoping your list is a lot smaller now. So the things that you can do something about and only you can do them. Now, I want you to have a look at those things and pick the most pressing item. So the only thing that you need to be focusing on right now. So it can't wait, it has to be done right now. And then I want you to think of one thing that you can do on that right now in this moment. So it might be that you've got a little one going to prep next year. That might be on your list. You can't outsource it. You can't cross it off. Unfortunately, it's a reality that we have to face, and we can do something about it. Okay, if this is yours, and yes, perhaps it might be something that's on my list at the minute, and I need to do something on it right now. So what I need to do right now is go to the school and get an enrollment pack. Very simple, check it off. Then I need to fill out the form. So don't think in, oh, it's so big, I've got to do this and this and this and this and this. Stop giving yourself all those things. The only time you have is right now. You don't have to worry about buying uniforms until just before he goes to school, because he will be bigger by then. You don't have to stress about what happens if the school's not right for him. Who knows what's going to be right for him? You don't know how they're going to interact at school. What happens if they don't get in a class with their friends? Who knows? We'll deal with that then. So I could stress and worry about all the possible things that could go wrong. Or I can just focus on what I need to do now. And often the stress is not actually about the physical, what you have to do. The stress is about all that unnecessary worry. So for me, the stress is about the fact that I'm going to be a crying mess on day 1. And I could stress and think about that all day and all night, but it's not actually, 1, going to get him enrolled, and 2, it's not going to stop the fact that I probably will do it anyway. And when I get to that moment, when I am in that moment of dropping him off, then I'll just have to deal with it then, 1 step at a time. What can I do right now? Get dressed and walk through the gate, take some tissues. 1 step at a time. That's all you have to focus on. Kids are great at doing this, being in the moment. They don't have stress and worry because stress and worry exists in the past, replaying old conversations, and in the future, worrying about potential what might happen. I hope that helps you today. If you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed, start with these 3 tips. Write it down, dump it all out, simplify it by crossing off what you can, and then picking 1 pressing item and doing 1 little thing right now. That's all you need to do. Take a big breath as well, it might help. If this is you at the minute and you'd like a little bit more help, I'm just about to launch a brand new program of mine that I'm so excited about. It's called Vive. It's for mothers, and there are 21 lessons to start ditching that overwhelm, start feeling better in your body, and looking at ways that you can really enjoy motherhood. So it's going to be a step-by-step program I'm guiding you through. So we're going to be working together as a group to move through what are the common blocks and things that come up for us as mothers that really stop us enjoying this whole gig. It's stressful, it's hard, but we can manage it. So if you are interested in that course, I'll pop a link under this video, so just go have a little look at all that I've got on offer there. Maybe register your interest if we're not enrolling as yet, and I'll let you know as soon as we are. Otherwise, I hope that you have a beautiful week. Thanks for joining me, and namaste.